This is a More Than Just Podcast production.
On February 2nd, 2026, the StepInto.vision community got together to celebrate the second anniversary of the Apple Vision Pro launch day. Over 30 speakers shared their stories about acquiring the Vision Pro, how it's transformed their work, and how they use their devices.
Just a quick introduction for those who don't know about StepInto.vision. StepInto.vision is a website and a community about visionOS. We write example code and labs resources, articles, guides, newsletters, and most notably, we do weekly office hours meetings every Wednesday and Friday. We also have a Discord that is private, kind of invite only. So if you are interested, send me a message and we can get you in. But like I said, we do meetings like this every week. They're usually a bit more chaotic. We don't usually have any keynote slides in our regular meeting. But those meetings are very much just casual, come and hang out and share what you're working on and help each other and things like that. We are also building a community project called Shared Visions. This is a documentary about the Apple Vision Pro community. I'm sure some of you have already heard about this. It's being built by the community. We're using pretty much every media format that Apple Vision Pro supports. It's in development now. If you want to get involved, let me know. You can follow along the project. There's a landing page on the site here. And for today, I really just wanted to kind of get a sense of what people have been doing the last couple of years on the platform. So just some prompts to think about if you want to share. Were you there on launch day? Did you have an app on launch day? Tell us about that. Were there any travel adventures to go get your headset, anything like that notable? What have you built with Apple Vision Pro since then, or what are you doing with it every day? And what are you doing next with Apple Vision Pro and visionOS? So before we start opening things up to everybody, this is being recorded. We're going to post this on the YouTube channel at some point. And I just heard from Tim at Vision Pro's podcast, and he asked if this would make sense to publish this as a podcast later. And I said, I don't know. We'll see how chaotic it is and see if it is something we can edit down to an audio format. But just know if you speak up today, your voice may end up appearing in your podcast feed on Vision Pros. So should be fun. All right. I promise not to show any more slides. As you can tell, I'm not a keynote person.
Just going corporate on us.
Yeah, right. They said I didn't get a chalkboard out or something.
If it's going to be just jump in, I'm happy to go next. My name is Raven Zachary. I do a lot of kind of volunteer evangelism work in the Vision platform space. I ran an event a few months after the launch of the Vision Pro called Vision Dev Camp, based in Silicon Valley. We held that at the Santa Clara University campus. And we had 125 people build over the course of a weekend, build some amazing apps. It's a nonprofit event. You can go to visiondevcamp.org. That event has since been held in Japan at 2 locations. If anyone wants to use the Vision Dev Camp moniker for nonprofit hackathons, feel free. It's an open community standard. I also run a website called Raven.vision, which is a data and news aggregator around what's happening in the Vision platform space, including new apps that are released. One of the things you probably know is that Apple does not provide a what's new page on their app store for visionOS apps. So I built some data aggregation scripts that go and harvest essentially what's new, not just in the apps, but also press releases, news announcements, anything in the Vision community. You can check out Raven.vision, the website. Right now, I'm actually working on building an all-day summit at GDC, the Game Developers Conference in March in San Francisco on spatial gaming, and plan to include Vision as one of the platforms covered, working to get some some spatial gaming folks involved in that. So if you have launched a spatial game, preferably a game that's more of an augmented reality or mixed reality type in your environment game, feel free to reach out to me. My contact info is on the JoyReign.vision website. But I'm just super excited to see so many people here today and love the spirit and the excitement in this community.
Awesome. Thanks, Raven. All right. Do I need to start picking on people?
I guess I'll build on that. So I was at Vision Dev Camp as well. So that was a great event. Trying to think. So my story was our company LuxTech bought 5 Vision Pros, and they all got shipped to our president's house in Chicago. So I drove up the next day to Chicago, grabbed my Vision Pro, and drove back to St. Louis. So it was about 4.5 hours each way. So that was my hectic launch day.
Nice.
I had 2 apps on the store at launch, Cone of Shame and Graph Grid. Then I've launched Time Cube, which is a virtual clock, kind of an impossible clock. So it can only exist in virtual. And 2 other apps under LuxTech, Persona Mirror and Lexicon, and more projects that I've done that I can't talk about, and lots more projects that I've done that I haven't released yet. So the next area, and as a result of Vision Dev Camp, I published a bunch of open source. So AR understanding and other things under my GitHub that's available for you, sample projects and sample apps and things. And what I'm trying to push on next is bridging the gap between Vision Pro, a Vision Pro user, and other devices. So iPhones and things in AR, sharing the same space and having actually a common coordinate system. So I can do some fun and interesting things there. So that's the main thing that I'm pushing on Vision Pro.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Sean.
I'll force myself to go next. Hey, I'm Mike Bundy. I've been developing on this platform since launch day. I've been pretty obsessed with Reality Kit and seeing what I can get the native game engine, if you'll call it, to do. I have released 4 apps. I've got a Sizzly Particle Studio, got a dumb little game that's a ball pit. And I released Aegis Core, which is like an augmented reality robot shooter. I released an app with Matthew Spendlove for Halloween that used a bunch of new tech that I've been working on for a new game project. And I pretty much fell in love with the device the moment I used it, and it felt magical. And as a developer that likes to stay programmatic, it really fits the bill for me. I'm known for my hatred of Reality Composer Pro and Blender, but I've been writing some Blender plugin work as well to help the pipeline of assets that are being made not for the platform to get on the platform. And yeah, I love this community, and it's been very fun and very rewarding, and the feedback loop is awesome here. So thank you all. And yeah, hi.
Nice hoodie.
Right.
Thanks.
It's pretty great.
Okay. Can I go next?
Go for it, Roz.
Okay. Firstly, I am one of the first Canadians to get an Apple Vision Pro, to the point I was calling in 5 a.m. on the first day they allowed us, actually from New York City, although that was 7 a.m. Anyways, my biggest goal is to put apparel into the Apple Vision Pro. I figure since sports are there, fashion apparel's next. We've got 3 apps in test flight. None of them released, mainly because of how difficult it is to get anything up. Meanwhile, I've started with a few people the Apple Vision Pro users group here in Vancouver, Canada. We're called the Vancouver Spatials. I think we're into our 4th or 5th meeting. And the idea is that you have to be with a Vision Pro or interested in being with a Vision Pro. And we've got some really fantastic people within. Just 5 or 6 of us, but it's a good group. And there's a couple of us within the group actually did a 7-minute test of a professional ballet company shooting with the Blackmagic Ursa in their studio. And a couple of people here have seen it, but it's really turned out beautifully, absolutely beautifully. We're just working on some permissions with the ballet company, but I can say the dances are internationally based. The piece is absolutely wonderful. I tend to watch it at least once a week, which is really good considering it's about 3 months old. And I've shown it to quite a few people around the world. And again, they say it's just awesome. But anyways, anybody who wants to see it can do the virtual NDA and I can send it out to them. But again, I would also say I'm one of the 1% of females within. I'm always interested in meeting more women, always interested in people that are interested in apparel on the Vision Pro. How's that?
Awesome. Thanks, Roz. Justin, get your hand.
All right. Hey, guys. So I got mine, well, opposite to a lot of what you posted, Joseph. I got my inserts, my eye inserts, probably a week before I received my Vision Pro. So I'm sitting there staring at this little box, just waiting for it. But I came into this basically knowing nothing about this space and trying to learn as much as I possibly can. And this is where I kind of crossed paths with John and Joseph before StepInto.vision was really kind of formed, and trying to reach out to the community as much as I can to see who can teach me what. And I'm very grateful for the formation of StepInto.vision and all the work that Joseph started, and everybody else who has come onto the board with him on this. But we at Southwest have primarily been looking at using this platform strongly as a scenario modeling, pre-visualization tools, and through that journey have learned a lot about this platform, about this community. We've even contributed back similarly to open source projects like Mike and John about having a tool, a pipeline tool for Blender to stream real time into the Vision Pro headset, so you can model in real time and have real time rendering. So it's really been helpful from that standpoint, and as a community contribution. So, but again, it's been a journey, and appreciate the community significantly. So, thank you.
Thanks, Justin. So just an anecdote for what Justin was referring to. On Apple Vision Pro launch day, I had an appointment to go to the Apple Store and get my headset. And I did the in-store demo while I was there, so I got to use one of theirs, and then they gave me mine all boxed up. But they shipped my prescription lenses separately. And I had my headset at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I had to wait all day for UPS to drop off the lenses. It was like 9 hours. I was just sitting there with this thing that I've been waiting for years that I couldn't use because I didn't have the lenses for it. It was agony. Paolo.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paolo Villanueva. I'm part of the StepInto.vision. So I was there on launch day. So the company that I work for, we actually were able to take a look at Vision Pro before inside the labs. And I come in from the company and also come in as myself. And I said, I've learned so much and I want to build something. So I ended up making the simple game, which came out on launch day. And it was so buggy that I fixed it, I think, on the same day it launched, because I actually had an actual device to install it. So that day after I tried it, I was just coding the evening to publish a fix the end of the day just to get it released. And then they declined my update because they said there was a bug, and I said there is a known bug. I had to show them. Prior to that, everyone was just launching. So I had one game which was Jumpfinity on launch day, which I've updated. I had a company out in Brazil reach out to me to make a sort of supermarket planning type system, and that was just exclusive to them. So they had that launched on one of their supermarket launch shows. And then I was inspired to start building a physical community. So during WWDC, I would help out with the iOS community, the community kit, to organize these events. And since there wasn't a lot of those folks moving to the Vision Pro, I said, I want to build this thing. So I got in touch with Miguel from Muses to try and have that first event in Phil's Coffee. And that's where I met Justin, and I met other people as well. And then I kept I kept building the community for the following year. So in 2025, I had one partnered with Community Kit. We gave away a little 3D modeled Vision Pro with a Labubu, and then we had people show their stuff. I met John and everyone else. I joined the hackathon. Been happy to also join the MIT Reality Hack, and I got very obsessed with Apple Immersive Video. That I was very fortunate that a college friend of mine wanted to build a choir, and our other friend wanted to record in spatial audio, and it just felt like it was perfect to come together to record a choral experience, which became Lalo. And we just got our hands on the Black Magic sort of the end of last year, and we'll be recording more content this March. And then I met Joseph at MIT, and I said, oh, I'm going to be helping with this community. I want to bring all the people here because it was always a good place to get started. And I look forward to building more things, helping everyone else in the community, and also write some stuff on what I've been doing on video and audio. If I can find time to stop coding and just starting writing, that's been always the challenge.
It's a challenge for sure. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Juan, how's it going?
Yeah. So hey everyone, my name is Juan. I live in Paris, by the way. So I didn't have the chance to get the Vision Pro on the first day as you did. So actually, my first experience of Vision Pro was in Munich in 2024 March, because Apple was doing some workshops, and so I applied for that, and there was like this lab where they will lend us a Vision Pro. It was not even in Europe by the time. So yeah, I had to wait until June, July to get mine. My first app, like I was working on HomeRise, which is my smart home app with HomeKit, and I was making the adaptation for visionOS where you can put widgets around. And I went on to even make widgets that you can snap on the floor, and I mean on the table and the walls, and that was even before visionOS 26. And yeah, I continue my journey on this platform a lot through the workshops with Apple. So afterwards, I met Christian in Munich again, and that's when I got introduced to StepInto.vision. Yeah, and just recently, I'm a member also of Studio 84. So we're a collective of visionOS developers here in Paris, and we're preparing other projects with clients this year. So hopefully, I'll be able to tell you more along the year.
Awesome. Yeah, HomeRise is probably one of the more impressive things on Vision Pro. If you haven't seen that, folks, do yourself a favor. Some incredible animations and customizations and stuff.
Yeah, thanks.
Juan, Tom's over here in the AI channel chatting up a storm. Where is he?
Tell them about the meeting. Tim.
I'll do it right now.
Where do I begin? I said, I started out, just before the Vision Pro or whatever this thing we're wearing on our faces right now was being introduced. And I was chatting with Daniel Steinberg on a podcast, and we're both graybeards, and we both, decided, this is a young person's device and wasn't really for us. But I applied anyway when the developers labs first opened up in Cupertino. I got accepted. And about 2 days before I was to go to California, I got laid off from my job in Chicago. And I said to my wife, "What do I do now?" She said, "Just go. This might be something world changing." And she was 100% correct. So I went down and with a completely skeptical mindset, but within probably 20 minutes of putting the device on and trying it out, I was blown away. And so that's when I started my sort of evangelist journey. I did a couple of talks on how I'm embracing Vision Pro and how I expect it to change my world. And I got invited to go to Beijing to the first visionOS conference to give a talk. I met a bunch of people. I met Oliver there and Christian there. They're part of the StepInto.vision group as well. But I should say, like Roz, I was one of the first people in Canada to get one too. My grandson and I drove down, which shows you the sort of demographic I'm in. We drove down to Rochester to pick it up on day one. Fortunately, he has a driver's license, so I got to play with it on the way back and try out travel mode. But yeah, again, and when we went to the developer lab, I got in a lot of trouble for posting an article about my experience at the developer lab from Apple. Like within a day of it dropping, they asked me to remove it. But I was that blown away. I wanted the whole world to know about this thing. I completely blown away. I had done some artwork back in the like I want to say 80s that I replicated in Reality Kit, and I tried that out on the Vision Pro when I was at the developer lab, and I was blown away to see this thing realized in front of me. Cubes floating in the air, 12 feet high, and I could walk around the room, and they would stay in the room, kind of thing, stay in the area where I left them. So, and then I use my Vision Pro every day, and I hate it when I hear people talk about how it's not selling and nobody's buying it, because I'm looking at all of you guys, clearly, guys and gals, you guys clearly have Vision Pros and believe in this product. And yeah, I mean, I'll show it to anybody who's interested in seeing it. I've probably demoed it to like half of my family members. And yeah, I use it every day, and it's basically world changing. The Mac changed my life originally. The iPad, the iPhone changed my work, and now I've been doing nothing but working on Vision Pro ever since. I landed a gig early to do a pre-release app for a major sports organization. It was a fun project to work on. Yeah, I mean, it's been a phenomenal experience, and I am so glad to see this community growing up. I mean, I interviewed Joseph on my podcast last year. I think he's just starting this StepInto.vision to begin with, because I was teaching visionOS, and a lot of times, students would ask questions, and I would go check out StepInto.vision labs, and that's where you'll find out all kinds of really interesting things beyond what I was teaching in my courses. So anyway, that's my story.
Awesome. So you and Raj should compare timestamps to see who comedian to get a headset first.
Oh, I know Christian got his. The guy who wrote the Juno app, he had his first.
Okay. Dan, how's it going?
Pretty good. So I was very, very fortunate. I was able to get an invitation from Apple pretty much once after they announced it. I was like on as a hawk trying to get invited to experiment around with the Vision Pro, and I was lucky. I got to go into the labs and look at it. I didn't speak about it. I really felt like this was an interesting market opportunity. I had been there with earlier devices as well. And when I first experienced it, it was like nothing other. The fact that I wear glasses and I could put on the Vision Pro with the lenses, and I remember that feeling. I'm in the room and I'm literally looking at the screen in front of me, not even sharing it, not even doing the share, but feeling like, wow, this is so. The pass-through is amazing, and this is such a groundbreaking experience. I wanted to see where it's going. And in the last 2.5 years, I've been slowly building building blocks because my takeaway from day one was this is a developer device. The weight of it was clearly not mass market potential. And so I focused on building experiences and such. So within the first 6 months of having the device, actually day one, I started in the Vision Pro residency program sponsored by Founders Inc. And I spent about 6 weeks working on some ideas around spatial rendering and 3D GS, as well as spatial audio. And I've been taking all of this experience and just building out the tooling and the building blocks, and currently taking a lot of that and putting it into this little device here. This is my very compact spatial cam. And the idea is, do you really need a $30,000 expensive cinema camera to do live broadcast? And the market scope is creators. Think of this as a immersive webcam, but what I've been able to do is share play experiences on it now and be able to do additional things with computational photography combined with spatial audio. And that's where the sweet spot, I think, is going to be. Combination of AI, XR technologies like the Vision Pro, and being able to pull it all together. So that's been my focus. And it's been a really incredible journey that couldn't happen without StepInto.vision. And I say that from the bottom of my heart because I've been there. I've been there with Ravens from day one at developer camp and been part of the Vision Pro hackathons, and having a weekly space where you can talk about what you're working on, get feedback. And this community has been amazing. From like day one, meeting folks in person, having great conversations all the way to completely different time zones with Mel, to like 2 a.m. on her time, sure. It's just been crazy. So it's been a fun community, but more importantly, it's been a community that's keeping me engaged with this device and making me want to build out a lot more tooling for it as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Tim. I'm the same way. Every Friday after office hours, I am just kind of leaving that meeting energized for the week ahead, and just like can't wait to get back to building stuff. You want to go next?
Yes. Hi. Sorry if I had some strange reactions earlier. The Zoom app on Vision Pro is a little weird. But I'm Om. I am like currently a freshman at USC, but I'm originally from India, and the Vision Pro is not available in India, but I was lucky enough to get one in like launch day. Basically, it arrived in the US on launch day, and then I got it like Feb 18th, so basically like 2 weeks later. I didn't launch an app on launch day, but I did have one ready, so I waited to get my headset, tested it out, launched it on the App Store. It's called Link Keeper. It was immediately featured by Apple. It's put under best utilities. It's even there on the front page right now. It was mainly like a 2D app that I already had for iPhone, iPad, and Mac, and I ported it over, reimagined some of the interactions for the platform, and it went well. And I also then, my freelance app, One Tap, I also ported that over, reimagined how it would work on Vision Pro. We brought that over to the platform. That was also featured by Apple. And those are the two apps I have, and both of them were featured. And it's just an amazing experience building for the platform. I mean, I haven't gotten into like building fully immersive experiences, but what I have been doing is taking these 2D apps that I have and making them feel at home on this platform. And like over that time, I met Phil, who's also on this call, and he let me try out spatial personas for the first time, and I was blown away. And we continued to stay in touch and call frequently, and that's just has been an amazing part of this. And I also like built a few projects like a levitating cyber truck prop that you can keep on your desk on the Vision Pro. And then eventually I was also invited to India's largest Vision Pro related conference to give the opening talk there as a speaker. And I talked about, how you can take your existing 2D apps with little effort and make them feel at home on like the Vision Pro platform, because that's what I had been doing. And there were Apple developer relations people who saw me giving the talk there, and they invited me also as a panelist at their developer center in India later that year. I mean, that was like last year, and that was also an amazing experience. I've like given over like 100 demos of the Vision Pro because in India it's not available, so there's like 10 people who have it. So that's been a great part. Seeing people's reactions has been amazing. And yeah, I'm like looking forward to making more immersive experiences that involve more of the 2D elements of the Vision Pro, taking advantage of the platform to an even greater extent. But yeah, I've tried other headsets. I own the X-Real glasses, the MetaQuest, but nothing really comes close to the Vision Pro, and it has just as awesome of a community that's along with it. So yeah, that's about it.
Awesome, thank you. Matthias.
Yeah, hi, I'm Matthias, and I'm a freelancer. Mostly developing software for customers, but I also have some apps of my own. And yeah, I saw the Vision Pro at WWDC. I really was there, and I was able to see it live there. Yeah, and afterwards I thought, okay, that's really an amazing device, and it has so much capabilities, especially all the sensors on that device. And I thought, we really have to leverage that somehow. And then I had the chance to go to several developer labs here in Europe, and yeah, it was even before we had the launch of the Vision Pro here in Germany. And so I was able to get my hands on some devices there. And yeah, it was a customer project with ultrasonic data and tracking some stuff that you want to scan, and trying out how far we can go there. That's still ongoing work, and it's very interesting. And yeah, apart from that, I had the launch day app. It's a calculator. Maybe not such such a sophisticated app, but I thought calculator, why not? And I had some ideas there. For example, that you put the keyboard on a table. If the Vision Pro sees the table, you can put your keyboard there so that you have some nice haptic feedback there from tapping on it. And funny anecdote: Christian here in Berlin tried it and said, "Oh, I have a problem. I don't have a table at the moment." So how can I get the keyboard? And then then I added a button so that you can also have the keyboard. And yeah, so another one is an app that creates bubbles, soap bubbles, so you can blow in your hand, and it's and then it's creating the bubbles from the microphone and so on. And I had a customer app at the Gamescom last year. That was a show reel showing some other customer projects. And so that will probably be one of the ongoing projects this year. And yeah, I think that's it. I really tried to do it all native. So I really want to do a reality kit and so on. I had a look at Unity, but I don't like it so much. So it's really, I like to code and do the native stuff. And I also have to say, I also had to look at other platforms, and I somehow have the feeling that you really can do more with that native stuff. Or at least I'm not hitting the walls so soon as with the other stuff. And yeah. And yeah, I like the community here. That's like Dan said, it also keeps me engaged. And yeah, so thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for being here. Mr. Zoom user?
Yep, I don't know what happened there. I'm Phil. Anyway, everybody. I do content creation on X mostly and LinkedIn for the Apple Vision Pro since I think October 2024. I only got my Vision Pro in July in 2024 because of my heritage from Germany, where we got that a little bit late. And so I'm actually not a developer, but more like a UI UX designer. I design products and think about storytelling in the digital world. And so I was always like so fascinated with the idea of Apple going into the AR, XR space. And when they finally did, I knew I had like to get into that. And so I started with content creation. You might know me from X, like the handler is Spatial me. And the latest project now is AuraTap, which we're building. Like it's an app for the Apple Vision Pro community to connect. So basically, you can think of it like chat roulette, meeting like other app ideas like Tinder. So basically we want to, it's not like a dating platform, but we want people to be able to speed network. So basically you will be connected to someone at random, and then you have like 2 minutes time to meet and then maybe to connect. So basically I'm doing the whole product design, like the interface design, and that's basically it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We got to try it on Friday after office hours, and
yeah, you're all invited to join. Like we have the test flight running. I don't know if I can somehow post it or like that you can get it, but you can also go to auratap.app and then you will see the link. I think it should be
awesome.
Yeah, it was quite fun. Ended up with like 9 new LinkedIn connections by the time the testing was over that hour. So well done.
That's great. That's great to hear. Yeah.
It's awesome. So just a quick bit of housekeeping. Everyone feel free to throw in any links to your LinkedIn or your websites or whatever in the chat. Just sign it with your name in a link or two. I will try to aggregate all those together for the show notes and things like that, so people can find you later. Anas, good to see you.
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm from Morocco. I don't have an Apple Vision Pro yet since it's not available in Africa. I feel jealous not yet tried the Vision Pro. So I was playing around just with the simulation. I never tried like the Vision Pro, but I'm really interested in this technology. I don't come from a game development background, but I genuinely enjoy learning new things, and that is why I joined this community. I learn a lot of things from what the community is sharing, like knowledge and experience. and also like this StepVision resource. It was wonderful, and it was like a good start to initiate with vision, and also like it's helped me since it was like a very wonderful resource to having like the first step for learning, and especially with the labs. Like you cannot go and try everything's with your hands. So for each case, and you try to do the simulation like the labs with the along with the videos and the resources. It's like well structured, and it's like a time saving. And also, I try to share what I learned along this way through a blog post. So that is.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely appreciate how you showed up and immediately started sharing stuff for the community. That was very impressive. Mr. I'm Spatial.
Hi everyone. I will be really short because I'm totally new on this on this community, of course, because I got my Vision Pro last week, so I waited too long. I know. I regret that. No, I wanted to do. I'm an independent developer. I didn't develop for a long time, in fact, because I'm really old, and I was really on the jQuery stuff just to to have a glimpse of where I come from back in the time. And wow, it was a long time I wanted to get one, so I'm really happy to have this, because it's really not. I have a Quest for a long time, so it's not technically really new for me. It's all the software layer, which is absolutely incredible. So yeah, I just want to develop some small apps. I'm all in for 1 week. Sleep a few hours a day, and yeah, that's just wonderful. So I hope you will see some little apps. I will do mostly augmented reality, because it's really my I come from 3D worlds also, so I'm a Blender guy also. And yeah, that's it. Let's do some funny little apps for the Vision Pro.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks for it's really a great community, of course. It's you can see clearly. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. We're glad to have you. Jeremy, good to see you. There you are. How's it going?
Awesome. All right. Sorry, I had my green screen up. I was doing some recording earlier. But listen, me and my wife Joy, she's in here as well. We just to tell the story, we have been waiting for the Vision Pro since when it was announced in 2023. Literally, tears came down my eyes. We've been in VR and XR since 2020, but we're big Apple fans, and I'll let her talk as well here. But just to share, when we got them, I think we might have been the first couple to buy 2 for the household. That's right. We came home with 2 Vision Pros, and it was magical that first night watching different content. And so our background is actually content creation. So we're really about exposing the technology to the greater audiences out there, and just taking and showcasing what Vision Pro devices like it can do. And so it was important for us to invest early and get into this for 2 years, and we have not regretted it. It's been an amazing journey, but I'll let Joy talk as well, so she's kind of connected to this story as well.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm JoyReign, and I'm super excited to be a part of this community. Yes, like my husband said, we have been a part of this community for 2 years now, making content, showing how this, technology is for everyone and how people can be excited about it. And so, yeah, super excited that it made 2 years. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, super excited.
Awesome. Love the energy. Love the new profile too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate that. We wanted to make sure going forward that we showcase more of us authentically. So really excited about continuing to see what Vision Pro and the XR community goes next with spatial computing. And like I said, if you guys have incredible apps, been hearing some great information here, definitely send it to Joy and I. We would love to take a look at them, give our feedback, and of course, hopefully showcase them to the greater audiences. So appreciate it.
We will flood you with apps for sure.
Perfect.
Awesome. Dylan, how's it going?
Hey, going well. I actually got a really unique journey where, I was one of those day one people. As soon as I saw that first video, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. And, I spent the first couple weeks with it, but something happened and ended up having to sell the Vision Pro back to Apple. So for basically, a year and a half, 2 years, I was sitting there like, man, I wish I just kept that damn thing. And I kept on wanting coming back, but I always monitor the space. I was learning how to actually code and build, and thinking, okay, well, I'm going to definitely, move forward with it at some point. When it came out with the M5, I jumped on that immediately, and I love it. It's just such an incredible experience. I can't, quit telling everybody else about what this can do, what this technology is going to do, and we're at that inflection point where it's about to go nuts. With everything going on with AI, with how this is continuing to develop. Now, what's real interesting is I got Claude build, so Claude Code. I jumped on that. I actually started off with the $20 subscription last month, and then next thing you know, I started realizing I can actually bring my thoughts to life now. It's actually allowing me to complete these Xcode projects that I've tinkered with over time, but it always falls apart. So ultimately, I went ahead, did like a full sprint to give my first app out, Waypoint Hub. I went ahead, put that together, and it's kind of like that little gap in the Vision Pro where it's like, why can't I just get to what I want to do immediately? You got to swipe through 10 pages just to find that other app. So just a little idea. Okay, let me see if I can do this. And I was trying to do the one thing which I always kind of fell off on, which is see it through, push it out into the world. Because this whole last couple of years, I've seen most of you or many of you all over social media. I always support you all. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. I share your work. And just that idea of seeing people actually doing it, pushing things out. I love that. It's fantastic. And all of you all in a part have, really inspired me. So again, I went ahead and put that app out. Every time I was like, all right, Apple, here it is. And they're like, all right, well, you got to do these other things. So then you get rejected a couple of times and you get it through. I actually got my 1.1 out and decided to go ahead and build out a companion app because I realized that, how do I send something from my iPhone to that and then, integrate it better. So, just that capabilities of what's out there now. It opens somebody who has ideas, who's explored, tinkered, who can actually now put out full functional apps that are very, very useful. So anybody in here who's not using any AI to assist your workload, it's allowed me to produce something that I think is actually very, very solid. And I almost have a second app out that I'm incredibly happy about. It's going to be called Spatial Is. And it's going to be a different way or kind of app that I have not seen yet in terms of building in a volume while you have your other apps around you. And like a lot of times, those truly unique and special apps, they're awesome, but it's secluded from the rest of your ecosystem. And so a lot of what I like doing is building and utilizing all the different apps together. So a lot of my work that I've done so far and what I will continue to do probably is in that realm. Also, I'm, immersive and actually building out something. I'm not, well versed in that just yet, but again, I continue to kind of dip my toe a little further. But I'm very inspired by all of you, and I appreciate everything you all do for the community. And I'm excited to be here. So anyway, thank you.
Awesome. Good to have you. I'm definitely in the same boat in terms of building stuff for the shared space wherever I can, and only building things as an immersive space for like moments of delight. Mike, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Hey, everybody. I'm Mike. I'm a first day owner. I've been building for 2 years an app that allows people to reimagine the spaces that they live in, and it's called Room Genie. Yeah, 2 years and several months now. Gosh, it's hard to believe it's been that long. Joseph, thank you for starting this community, holding it together. It's amazing to see what it's become and all the people that are here and very excited about the technology behind it. And yeah, all the people that say, "Oh, Vision Pro is not lasting." No, this is proof that this technology is going to come around, and the people in this group are going to be ready for it when it happens. So, very excited to be a part of this. Sorry I haven't been here that much. I'm pretty busy. I'm actually about to destroy my house and start to do a lot of remodeling and hopefully integrate part of it with my app that I've been working on, and get ready as I have another little one on the way. So lots of work going on. Most of what my app has been, the work has been done on the iOS and iPad side. But every time I put this headset on, I just can't wait to dive back in. And Joseph liked to bug me early on, like, "Why aren't you doing it now?" And it's a big learning process, Reality Kit and 3D. And for anybody that's out there thinking about diving into something, just go for it. You'll get the hang of it. Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah. So Mike is one of the, I think the only witness on this call of my previous failed attempt at starting a meetup. Early on, I think it was maybe June of 2024, I started Columbus visionOS developers, and I got about 60 people who were interested in coming to meetings and about 3 people who came to meetings. It was kind of embarrassing. So that lasted about 2 or 3 months, and then StepInto.vision took off that August. But yeah, it's kind of gone down the memory hole. John, good to see you.
Hey everyone. Yeah, I'm John. I've met quite a few of you, but met a few of you in person too. But yeah, I'm a day one Vision Pro owner. I was super excited when it was announced. I was actually doing Meta Quest development around the time. But I was also an iOS and Mac developer since pretty much, well, day one of the old iPhone SDK. So yeah, I was super pumped about this to get back into Apple platforms. I went to Raven's Vision Dev Camp kind of early on, and yeah, met a few of you there. My team won the best native app. It was a virtual concertina. It's like a musical instrument. Done a ton of prototypes. Not enough releases. Last year, I was actually lucky enough to work with Bjork on a Vision Pro app. It was basically a kind of like a port and remaster of an old PC VR app that she had done like 7 years ago or 8 years ago. But yeah, I got to go out to Iceland and demo the app for a whole bunch of people. Apple actually sent us some demo units, so that was great. But yeah, and right now I'm really mostly interested in like doing music apps. So yeah, trying to do some more with that. And yeah, this has been an awesome community. Joseph, you've done such a great job. I love seeing like all the posts that you do. It's been super helpful.
Well, thank you. It's been a lot of work, but a lot of fun. Steve, how's it going?
Hey everybody. I feel like I'm one of the few non-programmers on this group, non-coders. I'm a 3D artist, animator, animation director. I worked at Blue Sky back in the day. So if you saw like the first Ice Age movie or Alien Resurrection, Joe's Apartment, I worked on those films. I've been into VR for a long time. I'm going to SIGGRAPH since 1987, so I've been keeping up with all the developments in computer graphics. I remember trying out VR back in like the early 90s on an SGI machine. I'm a Mac guy first and foremost, but over the years I was getting a little frustrated that I couldn't do VR on the Mac or GPU rendering, so I had added a PC to do some of the heavy lifting to my studio. But then when I learned that the Vision Pro was coming out, I was like, all right, we're going to finally get our own VR headset. I know Apple doesn't want to call it a VR headset, but I want to do VR in it. So I'm all about doing the fully immersive stuff. So my experience for getting it was I didn't pre-order it, but that weekend I said, let me see if I can go and get a demo. And they were like, well, we don't want to do any demos until Tuesday. But I put my name in, and then 5 minutes later, they said, come on over, we got an open slot. So I told the guy I already had my VR legs. I kind of know what to expect, and just tell me what to do. And I did it. And the first thing I did was, checking to see the pass-through, because it's amazing. Let me go to a website, amazing clarity. Yeah, I was like, I'm sold. I'm buying it, take it home. And then from that point on, I was just basically kind of like trying to figure out how to develop for it. I mean, I had already been making USDZ models with Substance Painter. I do like Maya, a little bit of Blender, but Maya is my main DCC for 3D. And I'm in a couple of the other forums for like USD and the Alliance for Open USD and stuff. And so I'm trying to help guide what we need to get into getting our stuff over properly. Finding a lot of bugs, a lot of little things here and there that are still not working right. But I was able to put together a really cool little immersive spatial website environment that I put on my link. I did a little tribute to the original Tron. So when Ares came out, I wanted to kind of ride that little bandwagon. I pushed this little app out. Thanks to Matthew Spendlove, because he had just posted a blog post about how he got his scene working for his Campfire app, and I was like, oh god, I got to try this. And so I was able to actually get an animated version with audio working. The USD file was only like 5.6 megabytes, and it worked. I just did a little simple loop. So if you guys go to that link, for those who haven't seen it yet, you can just go and you have to turn on the advanced flags, and you can through the Safari on visionOS, you can go through and dial right into the app, and it's pretty cool. And then because of that job, I got contacted by a company in December to work on a Tron style kiosk for their upcoming convention in March. So I'm actually doing that in Unreal Engine right now. I've got it ported over to MetaQuest 3. That's what they're gonna have 3 MetaQuests at the booth. But one of the founders of the company actually has a Vision Pro, and he saw it in Vision Pro. So I'm like, hey, we're going to also try to see if I can get this thing natively running on visionOS. And so just over the weekend, I was able to get the project in Unreal on the Mac. And I got to build over to the headset, but there's a couple of wonky things going on with the display. The audio is working. I have to get the hand tracking set up, but I'm like holding out hope that finally we're gonna be able to start getting some, like those of us who use Unreal Engine. I'm not going to pay for Unity Pro, but I've heard that you can do full experiences with Unity without the Pro version, so I might give that a try later. But I really want to try to be able to get my stuff from Unreal into Vision Pro, because I've tried learning Swift. I've tried looking at it. I'm just like, I'm not a programmer. I know the concepts I want to do, but I just need to work with a programmer to help out. So, I got some other things going on with some other members of the group. And I just want to mention that I got to go to the developer game session last November. I met Mike and Paolo and Dan in person, and it was the best 3-day experience I've ever had, being part of that, being able to go there and to be at the mothership, and we got a tour of Apple Park. But yeah, it's all because of StepInto.vision. I mean, I stumbled upon you guys on LinkedIn like last summer, immediately joined the Discord, and it's been the most active Discord. I mean, like every day, like it's like my #1 Discord that I participate in. And so I met all you guys through this list, and it's great, making great contacts. I really want to go to Dub this year. I want to do more development stuff, and yeah, thanks for having me be part of this community.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve, particularly for just Steve and Matthew have been our resident artists, and they have gotten a lot of questions and done a lot of favors for a lot of developers who are not artists, and we really appreciate that.
I'd second that, honestly, too. Steve's amazing. Matthew's amazing. I pick their brains all the time and help them with projects, and they help me with so much understanding of why something doesn't work the way I expect it to. You are appreciated.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Tomas?
Yeah, I wanted to chime in because I am a developer, but I'm not doing visionOS apps on purpose because for the last 6 years I was focusing on using the AR Quick Look. It's a game engine, I call it, because it's really a very nice way to have a non-installable pre-installed game engine on all Apple platforms that can use AR. And so I found many, many use cases that don't need an app. Instead, I can produce I call it interactive USDZ or a .reality file. And that's a very, very niche thing to do because whenever I encounter any developer, they don't know about it. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs to use Unreal Engine or Unity or doing it native on Reality Kit. But many, many things can be done with the USDZ file that also runs on iPhones, iPads, and on Apple Vision Pro. And the thing is, many, many users don't have a Vision Pro. So it's a niche product, but it's a great product. And so I am very, very fond about Apple focusing on OpenUSD and going the long way. Every year they are dropping new tech, and effectively they have many, many projects in-house. They don't show, but whenever some old devices that are not capable enough for some fancy GPU or RAM-hungry stuff, whenever they drop support for older devices, they can step up AR Quick Look features because unlike Google and Android, they like to support all features on all devices. And that's making them a small pace company, but it's solid. That's my focus, my point of view. So you don't have to be an app developer to create content. And yeah. And I want to talk about the Wednesday office hours, especially for Europeans. And I would want to point out the work of Roxana and Christian and you, Joseph. Very, very great. Thank you very much for also doing the Wednesday office hours. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, we do 2 weekly meetings called StepInto.vision office hours. I host one every Friday, and Roxana and Christian host one every Wednesday. We're kind of offset by a couple time zones to try to cast as wide net as we can. And they're just, these weekly meetings are just immensely valuable and fun and a good place to kind of check in with the community, share what you're working on, get technical help, and just kind of get some encouragement as you go. So since no one's hand is up, I will go ahead and tell you my story. So my name is Joseph, as you probably figured out. I've been working in and around VR since 2017. I first started with things like Unreal Engine before realizing that Unreal Engine was way too hard. Or not so much Unreal Engine was too hard. C++ was too hard. And then I went over to Unity for a couple years. I made a lot of stuff there. And around the time that Oculus brought Quest out, they announced their policies around just highly curating the store. And I saw that it was basically going to be impossible to be an indie developer on that platform. And I got pretty discouraged and put VR aside for a while, but just a short while. I ended up picking it back up with WebXR. So I still had a headset, and I just kind of went back to work making things in WebXR. Started initially in A-Frame, and then branching out into Babylon JS and Play Canvas and a little bit of 3JS. And I tend to mostly stick with Babylon JS as my go-to thing. It's just, it works the way that I think, so it's a good fit for me. But the other tools are amazing as well. The work that I did in Babylon JS in WebXR led directly to StepInto.vision. I had been doing a project called Canvatorium, which was very similar to the labs that I do on StepInto.vision, where I was just trying to figure out a UI concept or a VR concept and doing it as a discrete file, sharing the code online, writing an article about it, sharing a video about it. And when I started doing visionOS work, I actually started a new section of Canvatorium called Canvatorium Visio, dedicated to Vision Pro stuff. So if you go to my personal site, vrhermit.com, you will still see about 40 labs that predate StepInto.vision. Some of them have been ported over to the new site, but not all of them. But it got to the point where that summer I realized, 2024, I realized that I'm flooding my personal site with this one topic. I should probably spin this off into its own place. And I made StepInto.vision in August of 2024 and launched it with maybe 6 posts or something. By the end of 2024, I had nearly 100 posts on the site. And then in 2025, I gave myself a self-imposed challenge to publish on the site every single day of 2025. It was totally unnecessary, but it was incredibly rewarding. It was very hard. I definitely had to get creative. I was at the beginning of the year, I was scared I was going to run out of ideas to write about. But after about halfway through the year, I realized there's no chance of that happening. Even today, after writing 365 posts last year, I still have 300 articles in my backlog. There's so much to cover on this platform. And I'm only focusing on the native stuff. I haven't even sort of documenting Unity or Unreal or Godot or all the WebXR stuff. Everything I've written is just on visionOS and Reality Kits and Swift UI. So I'm going to keep focusing on that for the next few years. And some of the folks you've seen earlier, like Mike and Paolo, and some of the folks who aren't here today, like Jimmy, they're helping me build more stuff for the community. We've got a lot of other stuff coming. So I'm just really grateful for all of you, particularly grateful to those of you who have stepped up to participate in the Shared Visions project, which is a project that we started last fall. We hope to have it out sometime this spring. We are making an immersive documentary about the Apple Vision Pro community. So not necessarily the developer community, but the whole Apple Vision Pro community. We definitely want to feature developers and creators and artists and content creators, but we also want to hear from power users and people who are using the headsets to play games and connect with friends and family and things like that. So the kind of the MacGuffin or the extra bit of something special in the Shared Visions app is we're combining all of the immersive media formats that Apple offers in visionOS 26. So spatial video that you can capture on your iPhone, regular iPhone video, persona captures, 360 cameras, 180 cameras, and then Apple immersive stuff. And we're kind of combining that into a timeline that will play and position each video where it needs to be based on the story that we're telling. So there's going to be a lot of video. There's going to be some 3D assets in the scene. There's going to be a lot of Swift UI work, a lot of windows, different spaces to explore. And it's a very interesting project. It's very much a community-led project. I kind of gathered everybody together. We elected some team leads, and the team leads are kind of guiding the overall direction. And then, it's been very fun. We're making progress on it, and we're sharing updates as we can. If you're not already involved in it and want to get involved, please do. If you don't have time to volunteer, we understand. That doesn't mean you can't be in the documentary later when we open calls for submissions. So, rant over. Anybody else want to introduce themselves?
Just real quick, I'm Michael Potson. I have a company called Polycount, and I've been in VR since '97. So long time in the 3D space. I got the devices. My wife and I were in Lyon, France, and we ordered them on the day we could. And I tried to get them earlier, but without any Apple experience, I just couldn't get early glasses. We've done a lot of content. Mostly it's 3D content. Done some work for the Las Vegas Sphere. Built an application where you could visualize shows inside the Las Vegas Sphere in the Apple Vision Pro. Right now we're doing projects with SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, and Netflix with the Apple Vision Pro as a design collaboration tool using the personas and little USDC files and little kind of presentation style apps. So these are not apps for the community. These are apps for enterprise application, for basically for collaboration and design, exploration, and presentations. It's a lot of fun. I love the device. I've got 3 of them and just got the new M5 and I'm pretty happy. So that's me.
Awesome. And Michael's one of our many participants in Shared Vision. He's been sharing ideas and experience there as well. So thank you for that. Alan, you were going to go next.
Yeah, my name is Alan Moore. I grew up in the Bay Area, started programming at 13 and left the Bay Area around 2001. And then I worked for an embedded systems company called AJ Video Systems for about 15 years. And told my wife the only reason I'd ever go back to the Bay Area would be to work for Apple on a VR headset. I got a call and got recruited into the camera team. So that was close enough for me. Worked there for about 4 years, and I had to stop working because of a health condition. So now at this point, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing, but my passion is really collaboration, doing design, and bringing things into a sort of visual space that might otherwise stay hidden and difficult to understand, or you get new perspectives anyway. Just experimentation, really. So if anybody's interested in that, I'd love to talk with you all about that. Well, that's my story.
Awesome. Thanks, Alan. And thanks for always, Alan's one of the people who is always sharing my stuff on Blue Sky and helping other people find our visionOS resources. I definitely appreciate that. Anyone else? See a couple faces. Andrew, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I guess I'll go. I was almost a day one visionOS purchaser, but unfortunately something happened with my order. It was delayed. So I had the experience too, where I had these nice prescription lenses that I couldn't use. So that was torture while I was waiting. I think it was like a 2-week delay for my headset to arrive. But when it did arrive, I've been in the headset nearly every day for several hours a day. Just going through and doing tons and tons of experiments. So I have a couple toy apps on the store, but I'm really focused on working on some reality kit apps. Hopefully, releasing a game fairly soon. But it's just been a joy to use. This is a great platform. It's by far my favorite, XR platform to use. And I'm just kind of excited to see where this is, how this platform is going to actually evolve, and what they're going to do with it going forward. I'm one of those too, where I'm just like, I'm not going to continue justifying how much I love this platform to people who are, the naysayers who are like, oh, visionOS is silly or what have you. I'm in the headset every day, and I completely love it. And again, it's just been an absolute joy to use for the past 2 years. So yeah, that's my story.
Couldn't agree more. Ian.
Yes, hi, hello everyone. So my name is Ian, and I work for the European External Action Service. It's like the State Department, but within the European Union. And me and my team, we are like data analysts. We gather a lot of various data, and we visualize it. And previously, we have been using Microsoft HoloLens devices. Maybe you're familiar with. And just today, we all of us switched to Vision Pro M5, and it's been it's been such an experience. Honestly, it's insane to be completely honest with all of you, and we're just very happy, to join the Spatial Apple community. It's truly fascinating, and honestly, just it takes some time, to navigate, and like with the whole eye thing, it's different input, but still it's so fun and very interesting.
Awesome. Good timing on switching.
Yeah, just 2 years. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Did we miss anyone?
Matthew.
I just saw Matthew pop up.
I know. I was just like, is everyone gone, or have I missed my chance?
No.
Matthew Spendlove. I've had the Vision Pro for about 1.5 years now. It's by far my favorite headset out of all the ones that I've got from all the Quests. Quest Pro as well. That was a huge waste of money. Even more than the Apple Vision Pro, which I don't think was a waste of money at all, by the way. Made my first app last year. Actually released an update for it today, which was pretty cool. It's got share play, and it's got a guided breathing, which uses sound analysis and widgets. So yes, lots of learning, lots of fun. My background is 3D motion design, which I've done all my career. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to what the future holds for Apple Vision Pro. Hopefully it's a big year come WWDC and what announcements they have.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping for another big year. The last couple WWDCs have been pretty big improvements over visionOS from 1 to 2 and 2 to 26. I do hope they learn to count this time and just go to 27 instead of like 52 or something, but hopefully we get a bunch of bug fixes and new things to do, and should be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if this is the year that they actually introduce something that the M2 Vision Pro can't do. Do they release any software features that are necessary to have an M5? That'll be interesting. All right, so I just wanted to share kind of a thought though. So as I mentioned, I've had a lot of other VR headsets over the years, and starting with HTC Vive and then getting a Google Daydream and an Oculus Go and Oculus Rift, and living through the hype cycle leading up to the launch of Quest, and all those years in VR, just kind of thinking of like, I was always using what I had now, but always thinking about what was coming next, and just kind of waiting for Apple to get into this space and waiting for every new headset and every new announcement. And since visionOS, or since Apple Vision Pro launched, I've pretty much just been happy with what I have. It is the first time where I'm just like, I'm actually completely content with one headset. It's filling all of the needs that I want for this type of device, and it's letting me build the type of things that I want to build. It's letting me use a computer the way that I want to use it. I've built a lot of my own internal tools, and obviously, I'm still excited for future Vision Pro products, and potentially a Vision Air or consumer headset, and whatever they end up doing in smart glasses and things like that. But the last 2 years have just been slowing down, like kind of stop gazing at the horizon and just focusing on what we have. And it's just been incredible to focus on that and build with it. And I think there's just so much untapped potential for what we can build in visionOS. I really do think visionOS is the magical product, not necessarily Apple Vision Pro. And I want to see visionOS running on more devices, cheaper devices, lighter devices, things like that. But that's my hope for where this is headed. I guess we shall see.
Do we think we're going to get visionOS running on some smaller glasses? I saw a rumor like that today. I think it was either, I can't remember, some blog or something saying that there was going to be the Meta equivalent, but from Apple this year. But maybe it's too soon.
Yeah, I think it's too soon. My friend Dave, who is on this call, Dave, why don't you tell them what you said about when you think Apple will release something?
I don't right this second recall what I said.
5 years later than you would expect.
5-year
yes.
cycle.
Well, no, it's kind of the pattern that we saw with things like the iPad. There were heavily rumored tablet and mini laptop rumors for years and years and years, almost to the point that people had stopped waiting for one, and then it pops up. It's just kind of the pattern. You saw the same thing with like the iPhone. They had rumors of a phone for years and years and years, and then they released the Motorola Rocker, and then well after that was when the iPhone was actually released. It will happen, unfortunately, dramatically later than anybody thinks it will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to be the pattern that's been established.
Yeah. And I think you told me that in 2016 or 17 about VR, and I was disappointed at the time, and I thought that was totally unrealistic, and they were definitely going to have a headset by 2018 at the latest, and no, that did not happen. But yeah.
I think you nailed something, a very slight nuance, but you nailed it, right? It's all about visionOS. It is not about the current device.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around XR for quite a while now. I worked on projects with Disney, the NFL, and it was really clear to me that first moment I put the headset on that this is the beginning of a 10-year rollout of something. And what we are seeing in the last 2 years was dramatic improvements in the operating system and the ability, the frameworks that went to that. And so that, I think, is the key thing. And it's also our call to action with Apple is to keep reminding them what they're doing is great. They need to start thinking about how they can make developers enriched with the platform.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes down to delivering devices that are lighter weight and more accessible at the end of the day. The visionOS is at that place now where I think they can deliver that in a wearable. And there's enough wearables on the market now to show that they're not running first, which they never do. They always wait. And I think the timing, we are going to see something happen in that space. But I think what's going to be dramatically different in the wearable market is the 15 years of ARKit and this evolution to visionOS. And I would expect that's how they'll market it as well.
Mm-hmm. Roz?
Right. Okay. The one thing that I really feel will make a gigantic difference is now that we've brought people into live sports, the men, shall we say, into live sports with 5 cameras, whatever it is. The place I know it's going to go is apparel. My first inquiry has been actually someone talking about doing persona meeting and an online retail of custom purses that he does for a world-based audience. But again, not yet. But they say that it's going to be 25% of sales by the year 2030. And I've been out doing 3D scans of garments. And at the same time, now I'm doing spatial photographs of clothing down at the local Salvation Army. They're doing such brilliant displays that I'm constantly taking photographs. And the minute you do, you're starting to see that necklace rather than just a picture of clothing. And I mean, it's so inspiring. I know it's the future, and it just might be the way to get the rest of the world into it is everybody wears clothing. It's the second biggest industry in the world next to oil and gas. And it's also looking for a greater sustainable communication. But anyways, that's where my vision is for the future.
Thomas?
Yeah, talking about Apple taking the long road, I was interested in applying to a company in Berlin that weeks later was acquired by Apple. They specialized in 200 hertz video frame grabbing for laser eye surgery. And that's what became the very good eye tracking technology in the Vision Pro. And many years before, Apple acquired 5,000 HTC Vive systems for internal use. And they also cooperated in a Texas office building, working side by side with the folks from Steam, from Valve. And yeah, so many things cook a long time. Tim Cook cooks. And yeah, eventually something great comes out of it. There was another thing. Yeah, the whole team for AR Kit and AR Core, the Android ecosystem, the whole developer team came from Munich, from a company who was specializing in AR. And half of them went to Apple, and the other half went to Google. So it's all a small world. But for the Vision Pro, Apple decided to totally rewrite. They rewrote ARKit and the API, the privacy related aspects of all of it, and they also totally rewrote the way graphics and fonts are rendered in Safari on the visionOS platform. It's totally different because it needs the way the foveated rendering is totally different. And that's something the folks at Samsung and HTC don't really realize.
Mm-hmm.
That's my 2 cents.
So I just saw Tom popped in. Tom, we're just kind of going around sharing our story with Vision Pro in the last couple of years. So why don't you tell us about your launch day experience? I know you had quite an adventure getting your headset, and then kind of what you've been building with the headset and what you hope to do.
Yeah. All right. Sorry I'm so late. I'm really bad at guessing the right time zone. So I thought it was like in anyway. Glad to be here. And yeah, if I start from the beginning, I would say that like the adventure with the Vision Pro really began with the first developer lab, I guess. After the announcement in June, I was like, oh, it seems like fun, you know? And then I went to the lab in London and I was like really hooked. Although when I took the first time I took the headset, you know, I took it on the side. So the magnetic thing kind of fell, you know, like I almost broke the first Vision Pro I had in my hands, and I was looking at Apple people during the lab, and I was like, yeah, I'm not sure you should ship that, you know. And they looked at me like, So I was the perfect French guy already telling them that they were doing something wrong, I guess, on the device. And yeah, it was quite fun. And then I was like, okay, I'm betting everything on that device because it seems like a very good, like very promising ecosystem. And so it wasn't available in France since I'm based in Paris. So I was like, okay, let's do it. I'm going to take a plane and go to Boston. And yeah, the story you maybe wanted me to tell is like I took a plane and I was supposed to like get my Vision Pro the day after my arrival, but then we got hit by like a blizzard because our flight was on like going through Iceland, and we got stuck in Reykjavik, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to miss my Vision Pro appointment, and I was like, oh, someone's going to take my Vision Pro, my precious, you know. So, but in the end, we got there the following day, and I took my Vision Pro. Like, we left the plane, and the Apple Store wasn't closed yet, so we had time to get my Vision Pro, go to the hotel, and then I just put the headset on, and I kind of never stopped wearing it, I guess. So yeah, that was a very good beginning. And since then, I've been like building for it almost every day, I would say. And it's been going very well. And I very fast decided to focus on enterprises and not B2C because like the market isn't there yet, and it still won't be there until there is a new device. But still, it's very worth it to create apps on the store. I'm not saying that, but like if you need to make a living, you need to think like about what you can sell today. And yeah, so for these past 2 years, I would say it's been a pretty great experience. A lot of passionate people, and I'm very happy. I'm very hopeful that this will continue with what will be like announced this year. I have very high expectation. After last year, there was like it was my first time going to WWDC, and I was like, oh, it's a small update. So I do think that this year will be very big. And I've been trying to, every time I go to Dev Lab, I'm trying to read the signals from the developers, Apple, you know, and they're like, oh, I can't say anything. But then you see like they're kind of excited about this year, I think. So I do think it will be a very, very good year for visionOS. Not the Vision Pro, but visionOS. So I'm thinking like very different devices, maybe glasses, you know, and then we'll get a new generation of Vision Pro, lighter and everything. So I'm very excited. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm hoping this is the year they start branching out into more products. I noticed anecdotally on LinkedIn profiles from people who work at Apple, I've started seeing descriptions like Vision Products Team instead of Vision Pro on their profiles. So like they're hinting at something coming.
Yeah, and the number of jobs openings like lately
There are always been jobs openings, of course, but like there is like a lot. So either like a lot of people quit, which I doubt, I think they're like increasing even more on some parts of the Vision Pro, and maybe because there is a new device, I guess. I don't know.
So I also got to go to one of the developer labs in December, and it was kind of a less of a developer lab, more of like co-working with Apple for a couple of days. And the first day there, I cornered one of the developer relations folks, and so I'm gonna watch your reaction as I ask this question. What's going on with Reality Composer Pro? And he could not make eye contact with me. He's like, is like a guilty dog looking away. It's like we're missing a huge update this year. What's going on? And obviously they couldn't say anything about it, but there's definitely something coming there. I don't know if this is a version 3 or a successor app or a paradigm shift or something, but I think they're aware that the current tool is
there is already a Reality Composer Pro 3, but for Apple internal use. But there was someone asking a feedback support question about the buggy 2.0, 2.x, and they say, "Oh, just use version 3," without realizing that's not public.
Yeah, I was joking with them that they didn't realize that they never shipped it. We don't have it, guys.
I think they postponed the launch of the new Reality Composer Pro, I guess, and so we might get it this year. And I've been watching the news on the OpenUSD Foundation or something, and I think it might be because they were waiting for the new USD Open Core specification. Maybe that's a wide bet on my side, but I think the planets were not properly aligned for the launch yet, and now that's
they are waiting. They are waiting for the industry to adopt the Material X 1.39 that's needed for the new standard Open PPR that is based on Material X. And most VFX related software packages have a yearly cycle and are holding back this version of Material X. And they also waited for NVIDIA to catch up with support for this Material X. So it's all intermingled. The whole industry is, waiting at each other.
Yeah. It's a love-hate relationship with that tool for sure. I use it every day. I don't love it. It's buggy. It is power hungry. I made like a meme version of it called Battery Killer Pro with the splash screen at one point. It just tanks the battery in my laptop every time I open it. But it's also really handy, particularly for the timelines feature and the shader graph. Yeah.
I ended up doing a custom one for me in my workflow. I basically took a screenshot of Reality Composer, gave it to Codex, and asked him create one for me. And then I started to just put AI features kind of in it, and it's been amazing. I actually work on USDA files with Codex now, so it's I'm saving so much time this way.
You should write up some of those details and show
Yeah.
Please,
soon.
please.
But I'm almost ready to release a Blender plugin. Actually, that's hopefully this week. It would hopefully save a lot of time for a lot of people.
Awesome. So aside from this, is anybody doing anything interesting to celebrate 2 years of Apple Vision Pro? I think I saw Matthew release a update today. That's good timing. Very last minute anniversary. No one got Apple any presents or chocolates or anything?
They got about 1 trillion of them.
I just ate my thing finally from Christmas. There's this snowboarder that has the ski goggles on. And so I tell my kids, I'm like, that's my, elf wearing Santa wearing a Vision Pro or whatever. So I don't have it to show. But that would be my celebration if I had it.
So I just want to point out my friend Dave is here. You probably don't see him in the Vision Pro community too much because he's not much of a Vision Pro developer. But Dave is a longtime friend and my mentor, for lack of a better term. He's why I'm capable of doing any of this stuff, because of his mentorship and kind of guidance over the years through my software career, going all the way back to, I think, 2011. So, Dave, it means a lot to have you here today. Thank you very much. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, we do these calls every week. Most of the time, they're not recorded. We don't record our office hours things. They're very off the record, and they can be a little bit more chaotic. Today we were polite and took turns. We don't really do that normally. It's just a rowdy conversation. So I would encourage you all to attend office hours whenever you can. You don't have to worry about being late or being on time or anything like that. People just pop in and out as they can. We know that people are busy. Check out the Wednesday meeting if that works for you. Check out the Friday meeting if that works for you. If neither works, get active in the Discord. We have a channel in the Discord for organizing spatial FaceTimes if you just want to hang out with people. We have a place where you can post your test flight apps if you need to get testing and feedback. People are always happy to jump in and volunteer to kick the tires on something new. And as you kind of heard as people were introducing themselves, we've got a pretty incredible community, a lot of expertise, and a lot of background from different industries. And there's some enterprise focus, there's some video and storytelling focus, there's a lot of software developers, some 3D artists, and traditional app developers. And we're just kind of bringing those folks together, and we're trying to always bring in new folks, particularly more on the UX side, and more video folks, and more media folks, and 3D artists. Every 3D artist we can grab, we just need to assimilate them because we need them really badly. So yeah, if you're not in the Discord, I will share the link. Let me just copy it now before I forget. I'll throw this in the chat, and we don't share this online because we didn't really want to get spammed with people.
While you're doing that, Joseph, I just want to say, I mean, I know we got it from a few different folks on this call, but I think everybody pretty much shares the same sentiment here. What you've done and what you've created with this community with StepInto.vision is fantastic and amazing. And it's just such a lovely thing for me to be able to pop into this every week and have, this community of optimistic, positive, helpful, contributing, people coming in, and everybody, pushing in the same direction, whether we're, ultimately maybe competitors on some level or not.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty awesome to have this group and what you've been able to create. So
thank you, John. I appreciate that.
Second, yeah. Third, that, and I will say that there's what John just said, very true. Like in some ways, we are all really building different things, but there's a sense of collective optimism, and as I like to say, a rising tide lifts all boats sort of mentality that is hard to find on the internet. And you managed to curate it here, and it's nice. I think we all really enjoy it, so thank you.
Good to hear.
Yes, you made me listen.
Absolutely. I think we feel we're not alone anymore. And the StepInto.vision, I mean, I do it on Wednesday, but now it's a must for me. Like it's there on my schedule, and
yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, I was in Germany a few weeks back, and I was going to try and join the Wednesday session, but I was actually in a meeting in the time frame, so maybe next time.
Yeah, I definitely started the office hours because I was kind of working on my own for so long. The first 6 months or so with my Vision Pro, just kind of making things on my own, kind of sharing things on Blue Sky, and then talking about it to Dave and he was very patient at like kind of smiling and nodding and not telling me to shut up. But he doesn't really care. So I think Dave was probably super relieved when I started office hours. So I would talk to somebody else about all this stuff.
I do have to hop in there. Joseph is one of those really, truly obnoxious people, from my perspective, who, when he says, I'm going to do this thing every day for the next year, he actually does it. The number of times in my life that I've said, I'm going to do this thing every day for the next year, and then didn't, is basically all of them. That's 100%. But Joe does it. I don't know how he does it, but he does it.
I don't want to be wrong. I did kind of hedge my bets on that. I don't think I told anybody I was doing the post every day thing for the first couple of months. I think I kind of gave myself an opportunity to fail in January or February. But once I got momentum, I started talking about it more. Yeah, that was fun. I don't know if you all saw it. Maybe I'll kind of throw it at the end of this video when we post on YouTube. I did kind of a hyper speed cut of a screenshot of every post on the site that day. And actually, because the only tool I know how to use anymore is Xcode and visionOS, I made a little visionOS app that would load each article. So it just like queried the API for the website, loaded each article in a web view, and then took a snapshot of it so it could load the next one without actually taking it off screen. And it would constantly switch between the snapshots and the next article. And then I played that in the Vision Pro simulator. It took like 11 minutes to record, and then I sped it up like 25 times to get it down to a super short video. But yeah, even things like that has no reason to ship on the headset or even put it on the device or anything. It's still like the first tool I reach for is Xcode to do stuff like that. It's been a lot of fun. So I guess we're nearing the end of our time. I just wanted to make another plug for the Shared Visions project. If you want to tell your story about your Apple Vision Pro experience, get involved there. We would love as many volunteers as we can. We are working on development track. We're working with video stuff. We could always use help with project management and leading discussions. We could always use help with story and interviewing questions, 3D art, 2D art, and design and UX. If you've got skills or desire, show up and let us know. If you don't, or if you have those skills and just not enough time, we understand. That does not mean we still want to hear from you when we do kind of a call for stories from the community. So follow along with the project because we want to talk to as many people as possible and just really kind of create a time capsule for 10 or 20 years from now of who was here, who was building something, and what it was like. I often wish we had something like that for like the original iPhone community or even further back. Just like a snapshot of what it was really like and who was there. Because we can hear it from anecdotes and podcasts and stuff, but we don't have one piece of kind of media to really point to. in the same way. So that's what we're hoping to build with shared visions. And with that, I think we will kind of wrap it up for today. Happy Apple Vision Pro Day to those who celebrate. Thank you all for spending a couple hours with us and sharing your stories. We really appreciate it.
Take care, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for hosting.
Thank you all.
Bye.
This has been another episode of the More Than Just Code podcast. If you want to find out more about the show, you can visit the More Than Just Code website at mtjc.fm. There you can find a summary and show notes of each episode. We list links to the apps, code, and news that we mentioned on the show. If you like the podcast, tell your friends. Please leave a comment on the website, and if you can, please write a review on iTunes. And please recommend us in your favorite podcatcher. All of these things help others find out about the show. We really appreciate your help with spreading the word. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We'd love to hear from you, so use the hashtag AskMTJC. Once again, the podcast Twitter account is @MTJC_podcast. Please consider supporting the show by pledging any amount on patreon.com/MTJC. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time.